Then came H. I was in the car with H. H trying to prepare me. H is in London.
Bully. There have been several reports of bullying that she committed while she was working inside the royal family. Several people quit. Over the past few years, 14 people have quit working for her and Harry. That's a lot. You run a media company. I run a media company. You know how many people I've had quit in the past several years from me? One. What? She's had 14, and I am not a princess. These people probably want to work there so badly. It's access to royalty. You could wind up at a palace at some point. It takes a lot, I'm sure, to leave a job like that, and yet they continue running from her. It's to the point now where, according to the Daily Mail, one of those bullying victims across the pond is begging the palace to release her from her non-disclosure agreement so that she can tell the world the truth about this woman as this Netflix documentary comes out, undoubtedly bashing the palace.
This, haven't we? About this fracturing between William and Harry. Harry's now gone on television and called his brother William a bully that bullied him out of the country. And made a number of other allegations, called his dad a liar, he had to go at the Queen and everything. When you watched it, I mean, my jaw was dropping, that he was literally taking them all down one by one. What was your jaw doing?
I saw 6 hours of it, and I was very saddened by all of it, because I realised that there's no way back now for Harry. He's abandoned his family, he's abandoned his duty, and he's abandoned his country. And he's disrespected his grandmother's legacy, which is the Commonwealth of Countries, which she upheld all her through her lifetime. And you know, you can't say these things about your family and get away with it. And I don't think that he'll ever be welcome back here again. I think the British public will have something to say about that. And there are certain things that came out in this interview which I totally didn't agree with at all. I mean, he said that he couldn't get to his grandmother. He lived literally a few hundred yards away from her back door at Windsor Castle at Frogmore Cottages. He could have walked up the hill, gone through that door and gone into his grandmother's sitting room at any time and said, "Granny, I've got a problem." The Queen's door was always open. It doesn't matter about what the courtiers say. The Queen would say, "I'm your grandmother, Harry. I love you. You can come and talk to me if you have a problem." So, Harry, you're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. I know better than that. And the meeting at Sandringham, yes, you did attend that. And in that meeting, apparently Harry said to his grandmother, "I'd like to stay in the royal family and wear my uniforms and have my army contacts and then go back to America and do my commercial campaigns." And the Queen quite rightly said, "Harry, you can't have one foot in the camp and one foot out, because that's not fair to the rest of the royal family who can't do these commercial deals, who just do their duty for the country. So you can't have your cake and eat it." And quite rightly, the Queen herself said no.
They were willing to lie for my brother, but not to protect us. Who is they?
It's total smoke and mirrors.
There's nothing.
They've shot themselves in the foot. They've really fucking irritated me now. Really fucking irritated me, because they've edited both trailers and teased both series along the lines of the pronoun they, inferring it's the royal family, and it's always the press.
It was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me, and my father say things that just simply weren't true, and my grandmother, you know, quietly sit there and sort of take it all in.
Terrible is that Harry never went to see the father.
Oh.
And why not? Because Meghan was ashamed of him. Because Meghan was already constructing a whole new narrative to exclude the father. And in that, the father, Thomas Markle, blames Doria. Yeah. And Doria plays a really sinister role in this whole story. Because remember, for 10 years in Meghan's life, from the age of 5 to 18, more than 10 years, she disappeared.
But we never hear about that.
We never hear. And she says at one stage, "I went to every one of Meghan's plays at school." Of course she didn't. She was never there. What is all...
Beyonce just texted. Really, Matt?
Shut up.
Just checking in.
Just checking in, just casual.
Created for dramatic effect. And it sounds like one outright lie comes at the beginning of this document.
Well, and there's also been some controversy. Now, Richard, the media obviously do come in for a lot of criticism in this docu-series, but people online have pointed out that there are inconsistencies about how the paparazzi, for example, are not the same as newspaper photographers, and the difference between media and social media. What was your take on all of that?
Well, that's what, as a journalist, it was a very difficult watch, because there's going to be lots of, millions of people around the world are going to watch this and get a very false impression. So it should be clear. So, Princess Diana did suffer great intrusion, and Harry talks about that movingly in the first episode, and that's all true. But everything has changed so much. By the time that Meghan, before she even knew Harry, a long time before that, the environment's completely changed. And so when what they did in this programme was use examples of intrusion, and they were all in America. So at one point they see them being followed by photographers in a car behind. That can't happen in Britain. We do not follow. There's no pursuit. That doesn't happen. And they were showing all the other elements of intrusion, and that was all in America or Canada. And it didn't happen to Meghan at all. She would walk round, with no one following her or anything. I know that one of my colleagues bumped into her in the supermarket below our building.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she really wasn't treated in the same way as Diana at all.
What did you make, Charlotte, of Meghan's comment that no matter what I did, they were still going to find a way to destroy me?
God, I think the word "destroy me" it's such strong language.
She obviously does feel that way.
Yeah, she clearly feels really hurt and really damaged by her experience here, which is sad, because I'm afraid the tabloid press was always going to hold her to account, and that is something the tabloid press does. So that if there are inconsistencies with her private jet use, then yeah, we're probably going to highlight that. But I still to this day believe that the media were open-hearted towards her at the beginning of her experience in the UK.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Your reactions have been amazing, overwhelming. I really appreciate them. Thank you for all who took the time to watch my recap of this second part, episodes 4, 5, and 6 that came out of the documentary. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts below. I read all the comments. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. And thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.